Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to discuss a poem written by William Butler Yeats. The name of the poem, the title of the poem is The Lake Isle of Innisfree. Okay. Before moving on into the poem or even reading the poem, I would like you to try remembering the days when you were little. When you were a child, just a kid. Remember the place, the environment, the surroundings, the behavior of the people towards you when you were a little kid. Compare it, compare it with the present situation now. Now you may be working, you may be in higher standards. Your responsibilities must have increased. Your expectations, the expectations which you have from people, or the expectations the people have from you, have changed. Try remembering that and try to get a feeling of nostalgia, a feeling of pain, remembering that forgotten past, remembering that time which has been lost. It will never come back. Try remembering that thought. Pause the video for a minute and try remembering that. Okay. Before moving on to the explanation, I would like to do a reading of the poem so that you can get a gist of the poem or the feeling of the poem. Try to think of what the poet wants to say. Okay. The Lake Isle of Innisfree by William Butler Yeats. Yeats is a very famous poem. There are many creations by William Butler Yeats. When you grow up, when you move on to higher standards, you will be studying more poems. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of morning to where the cricket sings. Their midnights all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and the evening full of linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with the low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavements grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. By reading this poem, I get a feeling that the poet himself is now at a place where this all environment described in the poem is not present. Now he is present perhaps in a city where he has got roadways, the pavements which have been turned grey by the gritty dust of the city. And he is longing, 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 remembering and feeling the pain by remembering the past which will never come back. He lived in a place called Innisfree. It is a controversial statement whether the place is the real one or an imaginary one, but this is how the poet describes his childhood memories. Okay, now we will move on to the stanza-wise description of the poem, stanza-wise discussion of the poem, so that we can understand the feelings of the poet a little more. Okay, the first stanza is like this: I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. Okay. I will arise and go now. Where will he arise? He is in the city. He wants to go back to the past so badly that he says, I will. Will is 100% certainty. That determination to fight against the possibilities is shown by the first line itself. That strong wanting, that strong longing to go back to the childhood memories. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree. Innisfree, maybe it's a place, imaginary or real, where the poet resided when he was a little child. And a small cabin built there. He is trying to remembering that there was a small cabin, a small hut made of clay and wattles. I would like you to pause the video and try finding the meaning of wattles in a dictionary, not in the Google. The spelling of wattles is Wattles, wattles. You can even download the poem in the link given in the description below. Okay, the meaning of wattles is sticks, thin sticks that are used to make fences or the inner structure of a mud house. When you will, if you try googling it, or if you try finding out how huts are made by first framing the inner structure with the help of sticks, thin sticks. It may be thin sticks or bamboo sticks which are thick. The wattles are thin sticks in which the plaster of clay is given to give it a plain and strong structure. Okay. And so he is describing, how is the cabin described? The cabin is described as a small one built of clay and wattles. In front of the cabin there are 9 bean rows will I have there. There were 9 bean rows. There was a field, a small field in which beans were planted. Beans were being cultivated. This is all in his memory. He remembers his past like this. 9 bean rows will I have there. A hive for the honeybee. There was a honeycomb somewhere in a tree. A hive for the honeybee. And live alone in the bee loud glade. The poet wants to live alone there. He wants to just run away, just escape the present business he is trapped in. He wants to just escape that present business he is trapped in. And he wants to live alone. Make a point of the word alone. He wants to live alone. There must be no business, no interference between him and nature, the surroundings which he wants to live in Innisfree, and himself. He does not want any interference. So he wants to live alone in the bee loud glade. Try finding the meaning of glade in the dictionary. I'll pause the video. You pause the video. Okay. The meaning of glade is a small open area in front of, in the middle of an area full of trees. Take for example, there are lots of trees, and in the middle of that area there is an open field. So he thinks that that area is an open one, and the sound, the environment of that area is humming with the buzzing of the bees, the bee loud glade. He wants to listen to that sound of bees humming in the area. Okay, moving on to the second stanza. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of linnet's wings. He clearly remembers, the poet clearly remembers the peaceful peaceful environment, the calm environment, CALM, calm environment, the serene environment. Try to find the meaning of serene in the dictionary. SERENE, serene environment. He wants to experience that peace again. And I shall have some peace there. At present, the poet does not have any peace in his mind, in his heart. And when he goes there, when he tries to remember that Innisfree, he is certain enough, he is sure enough that the peace will come dropping slow. The peace will come dropping slow to his heart. He will be calm, peaceful at his heart, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. He says that the peace will come dropping from the vales of the morning. He is making a comparison. He is using a metaphorical comparison of the peace in the morning, the scenery, the scenic beauty, the environment, the peaceful environment that he has in the morning with a veil, a curtain, a clothing, that he says that the morning drops in the peace like a veil to where the cricket sings. He is making a comparison of the veils in the morning and to where the cricket sings. Tell me, when do the crickets sing? There is a chirping sound made by the crickets. When, at what time of day, during what time of day do the crickets sing? Right? They sing in the evening, correct? They sing in the evening. So he is making a comparison of the peace that will come dropping slow like a veil from morning to the evening. There midnight's all a glimmer. In the midnight, everything will be shining, everything will be glimmering, everything will be glittering. And noon a purple glow. At noon, the sky, the environment will be glowing purple, will be glowing, will be shimmering, will be glimmering in a purple. There is a comparison made between the afternoon and between the noon and the midnight environment. At midnight, the whole environment will be shining, will be glimmering, will be glittering with the moonlight reflecting upon each and every object present there. And at noon, the same environment is going to glow with a purple light. How? By the reflection of the sun. Okay. And in the evening, full of linnet's wings. So in the evening, the whole sky is full of linnets. Try to find out the meaning of linnet. Linnet, linnet. Linnet is a small bird that sings. You must have seen a sparrow, right? It's kind of a sparrow and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And the linnets fly in a galloping kind of movement. They move in the sky as if they are hopping like horses. So he is making a comparison. He is making a beautiful expression, an evening full of linnet's wings. He says that the evening's sky will be decorated by the birds, the linnets flying in the sky. Imagine, I would like you to pause and imagine, try to make a comparison, try to make a imaginative comparison, try to write it in your notebook about the time of day, the description of the time of day that the poet wants to describe. He says that the morning is like a veil that gives him peace. The evening is full of the cricket's song. The midnights are glimmering and the noon gives a purple glow. And the evenings are full of linnet's wings. He is describing the same place, Innisfree. He is describing Innisfree, but at different times of the day, he gets a totally different scenery. totally different experience, which is beautiful, which is mesmerizing. I'll spell out for you. Mesmerizing. Mesmerizing. Try to find out the meaning of the word mesmerizing in the dictionary. Okay. Moving on to the next stanza. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart score. Where is the poet now? The poet is not in Innisfree. The poet is somewhere in a city where there are pavements that are turned grey by the gritty dust of the city. There are hard pavements, there are concrete roads. These are things that he no more enjoys. He is busy in the day to day activities of a city life and he wants to go back to his peaceful Innisfree. Try to feel the pain which the poet feels. He is nostalgic. Try to find the meaning of nostalgia. Pause the video. Okay. Nostalgia is trying to remember the past times or place and feeling the pain while trying to remember those things. That is nostalgia. I will arise and go now. He is repeating this sentence. He is trying to stress on the point. He is expressing his feelings. I will arise and go now. I will go now. I will go. I will go now. He is so determined in his mind that he wants to change all the possibilities. He is trying to change the reality. For always night and day, I hear lake water lapping with the sounds by the shore. He has a lake there. There is a lake beside the cabin. There is a lake. The water there splashes, laps. Lapping, lapping means splashing. I hear the lake water splashing, lapping with low sounds by the shore. When the small waves crash against the banks of the lake, they make a lapping sound, they make a splashing sound. That is beautiful. That actually was beautiful. And he is trying to remember. He is trying to remember that. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it deep in the heart's core. The poet still clearly remembers everything. He hears it, he remembers it so clearly and wants to go there so strongly that he says that he hears it in the deep heart's core. So this is the explanation of the poem. I hope that you now clearly understand it or have a better understanding of the poem. I would like you to repeat the video as many times as you want so that you get a clearer picture of the whole poem. Make notes, keep studying, be safe. Bye bye.